Hey, hello, welcome back to our channel today. It's on a Sunday. Um, the Lord has blessed us with this good Sunday, and jua imewaka ni kweli, at least it's a bit hot. It's a bit hot here. Kuna baridi kama ya siku zilizokuwa hapo mbeleni. I trust you are blessed of the Lord and that the Lord has been grateful and gracious to each and every one of us today. So far, so good. At first, we need to thank God for us Kenyans for the praise that He has taken us. It has been a rough part of the month from August to this part, but so far, so good. Things have started running. Businesses have started running. We are trusting that everything will come to normalcy and return to normalcy as we progress. Um, the last time we were here, we talked about youths taking life as if we are rehearsing. And so many issues have been raised over the week, and it has been 2 Sundays we've not been live. And so many issues have been raised, so many people have talked about that issue. And yeah, it is what it is. That men, youths are joking life, and we are taking life for granted. And we are living as if we are rehearsing. It's better to say that. But that said and done and dusted, we did with that, and so many people promise now to start changing and to start viewing life the way it should be viewed. Now, today, I want us to talk about men and emotions. Males, I mean, when I talk about man, I mean the male gender, the male and the emotions. Culture, culture has it that a man is born strong. And in fact, if you go to the Bible states that man is the only being that was created. I don't want to mean that women are not created in the image and likeness of God, but to be sincere, if you go to Genesis, then God said, let's now make man in our own image and likeness. But this has been misinterpreted, and people have now started saying, if you really represent God, then emotions and things that need to be cried for, as a man, you need not to cry. Yeah? Things that should be wept for, as a man, you need not to weep, because you are created in the image and likeness of God, and God Himself is strong, and so should you be strong. I don't want to mean that men should not be strong. In fact, they should be more than strong, and because they are the pillars, they are the image and the likeness of God. But this should not limit the fact that men still have got emotions. We have a culture. We have cultures, and not only because I come from the Mount Kenya region, where we are Kikuyu, and we hear people talking about men should not cry, and I know in most of the other cultures the same case happens. They say men should not weep and should not cry. And when you are seen crying, they ask you, "Onyesha na maithori niki," right? But today I'm here to tell men, we defy that toxic culture. We need to defy that toxic culture. A couple of years so that have passed, and still up to now, we have seen a series of men committing suicide, and then leaving. We are left asking, what happened? I wish he could have told me. Then all of a sudden you realize the same man had spoken to you and told you he's passing through a hard time, and then you are there telling him, jikaze kama mwanaume. Men, I am here to tell you, let's cry. If you find a situation, if you find something worth crying for, weep, cry, and don't hide. Because one mode of suppressing emotions is by crying. One way of suppressing emotions is by crying. And once you cry, you start relieving your heart and relieving that what has been of a burden to you. But once you keep quiet, As a man, men tend to say sitaongea kwa sababu nitaonekana I'm weak, based on the explanation and on the, I mean, what do I call them? On the cultures and on the doctrines that have been taught in you and that have been put in you by culture, that I say today that culture is toxic. So you tend not to speak out, you tend not to cry because you don't want to be seen as an inferior, you don't want to be seen as a weaker sex. So what happens when you fail to cry and when you fail to speak out? That pressure that is you are having in your mind, that pressure that you are having in your heart tends to sink every now and then, every now and then. And I can tell you for free, when a tank gets full, it becomes full, then air that has been trapped in there got no outlet. What happens is it bursts. So is a man. When a lot of things get piled up in your mind, when a lot of issues are piling up in your mind and you have got nowhere that you can speak about them, no, you are not relieving them, what happens? They'll get to one point and you cannot no longer handle them. And that point is when you start contemplating of suicide. That's the point when you've seen men now killing their families. Why? Because he never spoke. And the only way of suppressing that emotion is now by acting heinous. Now, we have had other men whom they'll never speak of their challenges, they'll never share their challenges. But once they are overwhelmed and overtaken by the challenges, they contemplate suicide. Other ways is where you see men who never speak, who never speak, who never speak. And the reason as to why men fail to speak to other men is because when you speak to your fellow man, men have now become enemies of themselves. It's the same case. They have been saying women are enemies of themselves. Right now, also men are enemies of themselves. Whereby you find men, if you speak and you share a problem with your fellow man, the fellow man will now be, your topic will be a topic of discussion with other men. So they start laughing after you. These are men for men. And if not that way, they will give you a temporary remedy to your problem. They will tell you, kuja tupige mbili hapa leo ulale kama mzee. But I want to tell men, alcoholism, drugs will not handle your situation of depression. What it does, it is a temporary remedy. It helps you suppress the emotions and the pressures just for a given period of time. Then after which, once you return back to your normal sense, the same pressure that was pressing you will be the same pressure. It will neither have reduced. Indeed, in fact, it will have maybe increased because the situation maybe you never solved it at the moment that it was required, that required solving. So, men, it's either you speak of the problems that you are having, or you go and look for counseling. And I want to say this: men crying. A man who is going to cry is not a weaker sex. You crying, you speaking out your problems, you going to look for counseling and help doesn't mean you are weak. In fact, you are saving situations that could have worsened. Because once a man is provoked either by his or her wife or by situations, what happens is he tends to get physical. And in the process of yourself getting physical, you commit a crime of killing or murder, and then you end up to the jails. I have come to tell you this afternoon. It's time that men started speaking out. And I want to tell you, if a situation requires your tears, cry and don't hide. Cry and don't hide. We have seen men who have lost their loved ones, but because they don't want to show tears to the children, you don't want to show your children that you are crying, So you tend to pile the emotions and the feelings of losing a loved one, and after that, you find now, after a year, the man is now following the loved one to the grave. Reason being, he failed to understand that he needs counseling that is done to those who are mourning or grieving, grief and counseling. Therefore, men, if it means that you have lost your loved one, cry. Then, after healing, after you feel that you can be able to speak out about it, go look for counseling. Men, if you have been provoked by your wife, please, before you think of getting physical, think of looking for help. Otherwise, we are dealing with men who are broken. We are dealing with a group of men in the offices who are torn apart, who are coming to the offices to project their feelings. Reason being, they have nowhere they can suppress their emotions. That said and done, please, men, let's speak out. Speaking out is not a weakness, but it's always important to know who are you speaking out to. You choose a friend who you can speak out and who you can share your emotions and feelings with. After that, if you find that you cannot be helped, ama is of no assistance, go and look for counseling. And with this, we're going to reduce the high number of men who are committing suicide, the high number of men who have been into drugs all through. That's it and done. It's my hope that we are going to get help as men, and help will not come our way if at all we're not going to speak. Let's speak. Let's bring out our emotions. Let's talk about what we're feeling. Let's look for counseling in order for us to be assisted. Until next time, when we shall be looking at ways through which men can suppress their emotions. That is on Sunday next week, God willing. It's my hope that at the end of this video, we shall have 2 or 3 men who shall come and say, yes, I am a changed man. Yes, after I gave out and after I spoke about my emotions, I have changed. See you next time and have a good, blessed afternoon.